everyone. My name is Jenna, and I am the Education and Community Engagement Manager here at Donorbox. And we've got Daniel Donnelly, our Product Manager here at Donorbox, joining us today. Again, we're so excited to have you for today's session on mastering Donorbox CRM for your nonprofit. And I am excited to introduce the new Donorbox CRM and its many helpful features. And then Daniel will take us on a little bit of a deep dive today. Now, let me take a moment to introduce Donorbox before we dive into today's content. For those of you who may not be familiar with Donorbox, we help fundraisers who lack sufficient time, resources, and technology to achieve growth and sustainability for greater impact. And unlike generic fundraising platforms, Donorbox is a comprehensive suite of tools, services, and resources that empower fundraisers with a custom solution to acquire and retain donors while raising funds online and on location. And so far, we have helped more than 80,000 organizations from all around the world raise over $2 billion in donations. So you can learn more and sign up if you haven't already on our site, donorbox.org. We will go ahead and kick today's session off with a poll question. So which CRM are you currently using? Donorbox CRM, Little Green Light, Salesforce, NPSP, or maybe you're not using one. Maybe it's a spreadsheet right now or something else. So go ahead and share the something else in the chat. And we'll give you just a few seconds to answer that. HubSpot, excellent. We integrate with HubSpot. Let's see. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Now I have got another poll question for you. Let me go ahead and launch that. What Donorbox CRM features are you most interested in learning about? And it might be a combination of all of these, so feel free to drop that in the chat. We can't do multiple choice on the polls here. And if it's something entirely different that we don't have listed here, let us know as well. Let's see. Mail Center is a big area of interest. I knew it would be. Supporter timeline, awesome. Cool. Danielle, are you seeing these responses coming in? Cool. All. That's what I love to hear, Mary Jo. Yeah, all of them. They're pretty great. Get better, but looking to change. I think you're in the right spot, Glenna. Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for these responses. Now, there were a handful of you who mentioned that you are not currently using a CRM and maybe you're keeping yourself organized in those spreadsheets or sticky notes or whatever that may be. So I want to talk about the 6 key benefits of using a CRM for your nonprofit. Whether you are managing your donors, your volunteers, or your other supporters, a CRM really streamlines your operations and boosts your fundraising efforts. I think you all know that because you're here joining us during this session and you're looking to make a switch or improve the way that you're using Donorbox CRM now. So benefit number 1 of using a CRM for nonprofits, obviously, is that beautiful centralized donor information. With a CRM, all of your data is organized in one place. It's such a beautiful thing to have clean data. It's so great. So you can say goodbye to those chaotic spreadsheets and scattered notes and really say hello to those efficient, accurate pieces of information that help you build stronger relationships and help you have a better view of who your supporter base is. Benefit number 2 is that donor segmentation. I saw a couple of people mention that. Nothing better than segmenting, right? A CRM allows you to categorize your donors by gift amounts, recurrences, interests, and so much more. And this means that you can launch campaigns that really hit the mark for your specific segments, which really drives higher engagement and donations. Benefit number 3 is integrated communications. Again, I saw a lot of folks say that they were so interested in the mail center. And the right CRM centralizes all of your donor emails, ensuring you never miss important communications, right? You can seamlessly read and write and send emails directly within your CRM without having to switch outside of the CRM to your email provider and send an email. So it keeps you and your team working seamlessly and have full visibility of the communications you have with your supporters. And I see some chats going in, so let me make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, great. Benefit number 4 is donation tracking and reporting. So you can keep an eye on trends, track goals, and generate really insightful reports that help refine your strategies and showcase your impact to stakeholders. You should be tracking these things. And number 5, in the same lane here, you can gather that valuable data and insights that drive strategic decisions and elevate your fundraising efforts. Without this data, without these insights, how are you making strategic decisions on how you're launching your fundraising campaigns and running your organization? So this is really important. And number 6, recurring donation stewardship. We all want a reliable source of revenue, right? And cultivating recurring donors ensures that steady income. Again, it helps you track those valuable insights and consistent engagement, all easily managed within a solution-driven CRM. And you can use this analysis to schedule regular touch points with your donors. And that really ensures that predictable income and that sustainable growth that we're all looking for. So you can all agree, I think, that CRM is so powerful for nonprofits. But what sets Donorbox CRM apart, right? We saw some folks using a few different CRMs and looking to make a switch. Well, I will say, imagine having a command center at your fingertips that really maximizes your fundraising efficiency and supercharges your donor engagement. That sounds great, right? This is what we all want. And that is exactly what Donorbox CRM delivers. Our centralized donor management system is designed with one goal in mind, and it's to empower you with the data and insights you need to really elevate your fundraising efforts and streamline your fundraising efforts. And Donorbox CRM is your all-in-one, it's AI-driven donor management system. So whether you're looking for collaborative email management, smart AI, robust segmentation, enhanced donor management via contextual action tracking, or streamlined offline donation capturing, Donorbox CRM is purpose-built and designed to help you cultivate recurring donors, gain those valuable insights, and maintain consistent engagement, all in one platform. But of course, you do not have to take my word for it by any means. So I'm going to have Daniel take the stage here. And he is our CRM expert, and he's going to take a deep dive and unpack some of these CRM features. And again, if you're already using Donorbox CRM, I really encourage you, if you got another screen or room on your screen, to open up your dashboard and follow along. All right, without further ado, Daniel, I will go off stage and hand it over to you.
All right, so when you click on the CRM, this is the first screen that you will be greeted with. You have the supporters dashboard. Now, here is just your centralized location of where all your supporters will live. As you can see, it's a comprehensive list, pretty standard. Within the supporters dashboard, we have a few things that making segmentation and finding individual supporters fairly easy. First of all, we have our search bar. If you begin to start typing, we get an auto suggestions of supporters that fulfill the criteria that you have inputted. As you can see, I started with searching for Geraldo. A few people popped up. There's a few keying identifying characteristics that you can find here to identify the correct individual. You can also use email to search here. It doesn't have to just be their name. We also have an export filter feature where you can export and manage the custom columns of the CSV export. So here I have my custom exports. And then if I want to create one new one, click Manage Custom Columns, add a custom exports. As you can see, here's all the CSV exports that you can select from. You can select them, give it a name, and then save it for later use. And then next, this is pretty cool. So one of the emphasis that we have for the CRM is making segmentation really easy and saving those user segments. So as you can see, we have these filters here. We have plenty of parameters that you can select from. I'm not going to go into detail here about them, but there's personal, payment statuses, campaigns, donation frequency, date of the donation range, where they're located, the amount of donations that they made, the total amount of donations, and the supporter type. Now, I'm going to show you an example using campaigns of how we can make segmentation really easy. So I'm going to select this one campaign right here and apply it. Now, when you apply one or more filters, what appears here is a create group option. If I select it, I can create a group on the fly, give it donated to campaign, and then you can make an optional description here. What this does, I'll save it, creates a new group for us. Now, the group that's being saved here is what's considered a list type of group, and I'll go into detail about that more so later. But one thing you should know is that when you apply filters on either the supporters dashboard, your transactions dashboard, or your recurring payments dashboard, anytime you apply a filter, you can create a group list from there. So it makes segmenting very easy. You have dozens of parameters that you can select from to identify and group those individuals. I'm going to briefly show you all the data that you can add to a specific supporter here. Again, I'm not going to go into detail about all the fields, but you have many options and details of what you can add about your supporters' attributes and data. This can range from anything from their preferred language, their status, contact preferences, additional notes, etc. And then shifting towards the supporter profile, you're greeted with the supporter timeline. Now, every single action done to a supporter or by the supporter is recorded here. So any profile updates, any refunds, any donations, any communications sent out, these are all documented on the timeline. It gives you a nice overhead view of how the donors interacted with you and how you've interacted with your donors. Now you go to transactions, just lists all the transactions. Here you can add offline transactions. We'll go into detail about that a little later. Recurring payments, communications. You can add a communication manually, or you can send an email directly through here. And I'd also like to make a note that any email sent through the CRM, whether it is inbound or outbound, gets recorded here on the supporter's profile. And on the sidebar, you have all the information about your supporter just for easy access. We also have a merge supporter feature. I'll give you a brief little example of it. So if you want to merge, for example, an additional supporter to this profile, let's find our additional supporter. Again, search autofills depending on your criteria. And now you have your selected supporter, your duplicated supporter, and from these selections, you can choose the value. So you can choose the email, first name, last name, etc., etc. All right. So that is a general overview of what you can expect to find in the supporters. Now we'll be moving on to the Mail Center. And the Mail Center is essentially a way to link either your Outlook email or your Gmail email directly into Donorbox so that you can send and receive emails to your supporters and have those interactions documented. You can also assign individuals within your organizations to specific threads. As you can see, we have an assortment of emails, the assignees, as well as any standard details that you find in, your email accounts. You have your sent, you have your drafts. We also have a settings page in which you can add a signature to your emails. And then you can also go here, compose a new message. You can save it as a draft. Now, one thing that you should know about the Mail Center is you can only send emails to supporters that currently live in your CRM. And we only record emails that are initiated through the CRM. We do this for security reasons, and we do this to ensure that your Mail Center is streamlined to specifically interact with your supporters on Donorbox. So that is a brief overview of the Mail Center. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask about it. We'll try and answer that towards the end. Moving on, we have our primary method of segmentation, groups. Now, there's a lot to be had with groups. And I will demonstrate kind of the sort of nuances that we have here when creating a group here. So when you create a group, it seems pretty simple. You have a group name, group description. However, there are two different distinct types of groups. There are lists, and then there's specialized groups. What are specialized groups? Specialized groups are essentially groups that have like a physical sort of, they're tangible things within, the real world. So like households, educational institutions, religious institutions, or social groups. These have primary contacts, they have other information, emails associated with them. They represent a physical entity in the real world. Now, the second type is lists. Lists are what you can consider as attributes. New donors, people who have canceled plans, people who have given a certain amount. This is what a list type is. And within list types, we have two distinct list types. We have static, in which you manually add your supporters to that list, and it remains that way unless you manually add or remove those supporters. And then the next list type that we have is dynamic. This is what we consider as filters first. You set a specific set of properties or parameters that you want, of supporters that you want to be automatically added or removed from this list. So for example, I only want people from Alaska, Arizona, and Arkansas to be added to this list. I apply those filters, give them a name, create, and then as you can see, there are 3 individuals that fulfill this criteria. Now, if those individuals move and their address changes, they'll be removed from the list. If another individual from one of those states gets added to the CRM, they'll automatically be added to this list. And within any group, you have an export CSV, so you can export a CSV of your supporters. You have a list of all transactions that they have made. And then you also have a list of all communications that are made to and from these individuals. Transaction totals and additional information from the top. So you can see list dynamic. Now, one thing that's really cool that we will be introducing, and I want to make a note of this, is that within the next week or so, we'll be introducing a new feature in which you can actually send an email to your entire group. There are some limitations because of email providers, but in effect, depending on the size of your group, you'll be able to contact them all at once, have that contact documented automatically for each individual, as well as recorded within the group's communications. So this is an exciting feature that we are very happy to release within the next week or so. So moving on, we have tasks. Now this is a new feature. This will allow you as an organization to have all your work in one centralized location. Very straightforward. You can create a task, assign it to any specific user within your organization, add the name, description. We have categories such as outreach, reports, what have you, as well as purposes that are dependent on the category that you select. These are for just organizational purposes, and we will be updating them depending on user needs or editing them, depending on, sort of the feedback that we receive. Due date, priority, status. We will be expanding this feature in the future, but for now, it's just a way for you to have a simple way to manage and organize any tasks related to your organization within the Donorbox CRM. Now here, transactions, pretty straightforward. It is just an index of all your transactions that you have acquired through the Donorbox CRM or have added manually through an offline transaction. Again, we have this filters page here. I filter based off of failed payments. Again, I can create a group here within 2 steps. For offline transactions, for anything that you receive outside of the Donorbox CRM, you can add them here. And now, one thing that differs between offline transactions in the payment processor side versus the CRM is a number of things. First of all, supporters and campaigns are optional. So this allows for anonymous transactions, as well as transactions that aren't specifically tied to a campaign. We also have introduced additional donation types. So there's regular donations, but we've also implemented in-kind donations, pledges, as well as soft credits. You can also edit the payment status depending on the state of your offline transactions. So for example, you have something that or payment that you've received, but it takes a bit of time for it to be completed. You can set that status as pending and revisit it once you have actually received the funds. And these updates to statuses are actually recorded on a transaction timeline. So you can actually see the sort of flow of those transactions over time through the CRM. Here we have a soft credit donation example. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what a soft credit is, but essentially it's someone who's inspired another individual to do a donation. And if you want to create a soft credit, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is find the original transaction and then enter the soft credit amount, and then it is created right there. And then if you go to a specific transaction, So all the details here, fair market value, all the fee breakdowns, the total amount that you've netted, transaction timeline, as well as additional information such as comments, notes, mailing lists, all the stuff that comes directly in through the donation form. We also have some notes for integrations and security. Next, recurring payments. Very similar to your supporter dashboard and your transactions dashboard. Here, you can see all the details of your recurring payments here, such as the next transaction that'll occur, the last transaction, payment method, total amount received from that recurring payment, as well as the status. Again, if you want to look at the status, filter it, and create a group, very easy. Oh, clicked the wrong button. And then here's the details of the specific recurring plan. You can see the status of each of the payments, when they occurred at, and all the details surrounding it. And finally, we have reports. So reports are going to get a nice little update within the coming months. We do plan on leveraging an AI assistant to allow individuals to create custom reports. So there's some limitations here, but we are planning on ensuring that reports allow you to have very robust and detailed ways of identifying specific segments of your users that you may need for your specific organization use case. Here in reports, we got a little facelift compared to what it was before. Here I can create a report. Right now we just have templates, new donors, donor owner review, Lee Bunt, and then some FEC stuff for any election-related nonprofits. You select a report, can add some parameters. So this one's new donors within the last 30 days. Add a report name, description. We'll go there, run the report, get all those donors. And then from there, you'll have, one second. It's a little bit slow. But you can view your reports in more detail, export it to CSV, as you can see here. Download, edit, and delete, very standard. We will be updating and giving a bit more love to this feature in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And the last thing is, as you're using the CRM, there's a feedback link here. There's a survey. We love surveys. Everybody on the team obsessively reviews these surveys, so we are listening. We do appreciate long, detailed feedback about what your organization specifically needs so that we can start incorporating that into the CRM. And with that, I believe that is everything.
And our goal is to provide you with a really robust CRM and fundraising solution. And we are always working to make updates and enhancements to ensure that you have what you need to effectively engage more donors and raise more funds. As Daniel said, there are a lot of really wonderful things to look forward to in coming weeks and coming months. And that is why we are gearing up to launch even more features. Here are a few that you can keep an eye out for very soon. Thank you so much for joining us and for all that you do to serve others. We are so proud to provide the tools that can help you do so. And thanks, Daniel, for the demo today.